This is the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Kick back and hang with your hosts, Kayode, Lewis, and Joel. Let's mark out.
Episode 135 coming at you guys. Welcome to another episode of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
I think it's 136 actually, Kayode.
Oh, 136, my bad. 136. Yeah. Thank you, Joseph Damas. Yeah, moving on up. Thank you, Joseph Damas, for that fix. It's your boy Kayode, the producer, joined none other than by Joel. Joe Stradamus is in the building. Shout outs to Lou. He'll be back soon, but we're holding down the fort for you. And I got to send out a special congratulations to the New York Knickerbockers. They put on a hell of a show last night. They put on what some would say, and Paul Heyman made a really great comment. I don't know if you read this, Joe.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right? A great comment of heels versus babies, the comeback kid, the impossible happening, and this impossible happened. Your boy OG Anunoby came out of nowhere with that tip in with 1.2 seconds left on the clock. Spurs, I'm a Spurs fan. I'm a diehard Spurs fan. But I have love for the Knicks too, though. So I'm not mad, but I'm mad at the same time. At the same time,
just don't wear your Spurs gear in New York.
I know. I'm not doing it.
We see what happens, man.
Listen,
don't do that.
You're gonna see me on World Star, man. I don't want to be that guy. I'm not doing any of that. But I do have a Knicks hat in reserve just in case.
You gotta hide it.
I got to put on
hide the Spurs
jersey. Hide the Spurs jersey under my jacket or something. Congratulations to the Knicks, man. Big win for them. So yeah, man. But Joel, we're not here about talking about the Knicks, man. We here giving you another show, and we have to talk about. I don't know if people have noticed. I think people are starting to kind of catch on, but we've sort of been missing out on Punk, man.
Yeah, man.
CM Punk is MIA. It's kind of missing, and he's missing in probably one of the times where let me stop that. One of the times where WWE could probably use him right now for many different things. Joel, listen, there's a lot of stuff going on. Things in the rumor mill. He's upset. He's not upset. He's just taking some time. He'll be back soon. All that good stuff. But where and what do we do with Punk moving forward in your opinion, man? What's his next program, bro?
Yeah, man, it's interesting because it's been a couple people that since like Mania have just like disappeared off the face of the earth, like CM Punk, Randy Orton, AJ Lee. Like they just were here for WrestleMania season and then they just haven't shown back up, which as a viewer, as a fan of the show, I would like to see some type of explanation that's like at least kayfabe, like at least fake an injury or something. Yeah, right. Like it's just weird that they just are like, yep, this guy was your world champion for like a good part of the year and then he's just gone. Mm-hmm. And like he doesn't want a rematch. He doesn't want, like, he's just like, okay, I lost the title. I don't need to, like, that is weird. I wish they would explain that a little better. But I did start thinking about it with all the rumors coming out this week. There was a lot of rumors about him not being happy with TKO and all that stuff. They've since been refuted. But it got me thinking, like, what do you do with CM Punk when he does return? Because, like, he is kind of, like, in that position of, like, it's world title or bust at this point. Like, you can't really put him in any other feud that doesn't make sense unless he's willing to become that veteran that just puts over young stars. I don't know if he's at that point in his career, but like I can't see him facing anyone that's like below Roman now since he had that WrestleMania match against Roman. So like Maybe you put him against Cody for the other title. That could be fun. I could see that being maybe a potential, WrestleMania or Royal Rumble or one of those big events. Punk versus Cody. I could see that being a pretty good match, a pretty good feud. But I don't know, man. Part of me would like to see him start going towards like the veteran helping out younger stars route, slowly transition to like the end of his career. He's not getting young in age, and
True.
He seems like he wants to be like some type of like coach, maybe in NXT or something. He seems to like hang around a lot down there, so maybe that's like his potential career after wrestling, after he hangs up the boots. So I could see him maybe start like putting over some of these younger guys who have just got called up, maybe like Ricky Saints over on SmackDown.
Ricky could use it.
It's funny enough that I was thinking about this, and I believe Ricky and Punk were supposed to feud before Punk had his huge fallout in AEW. I think I remember them building that, and then Danielson had to step in, and that's when we got the good Danielson versus Ricky Saints match, which to this day, in my opinion, is Ricky Saints' best match.
Absolutely.
Because obviously it's because of Danielson, but it's still like Danielson brought it out of him. So maybe you could go back to that and have CM Punk versus Ricky Saints. I think they could have really good promo battles against each other. I do think Punk on SmackDown makes more sense now because he's kind of done everything. He's faced all the big guys on Raw already. Like he's faced Rollins, he's faced Roman, he faced Braun Breaker. Like not really much more for him to do on Raw. So if he goes over to SmackDown, you got a couple fresh faces he could face there. Powerhouse Hobbs. Sorry, Royce Keys. My bad.
I'm sorry, Royce Keys,
bad.
Man.
My bad. I'm in the AEW mindset.
Yeah.
But Powerhouse. I think they also worked in AEW. I think they worked the match. So yeah, I'm sure he could run that back with Royce Keys. You got Ricky Saints, maybe Ethan Page on the Raw side. Like I would like to see him doing some stuff like that because that's kind of what I wanted from this Roman run, and it doesn't seem like we're getting that from this Roman run. Roman's still going to be messing with his family for the time being. So like if Punk could step in and take that role of like, let me build some new stars, because I think WWE desperately needs some new stars. That top main event, that main event scene is looking like the geriatric.
Yeah, bro.
They looking like the old time home, man. You got Roman's not getting up there in age. You got Punk getting up there in age. Cody's not a spring chicken. Rollins is, he's got multiple injuries. He's not a spring chicken anymore either. So you got to start building these new stars. And I know they're doing their best with Jacob Fatu, but they kind of just neutered him. Braun Breaker recently lost to Rollins. Oba family recently lost to Lesnar. So you got to start building these guys. You got to start giving them big wins over these big stars. And the perfect time to do it would be now. So if I was WWE, CM Punk, when you come back, hopefully you come back and you get interrupted by someone like Ricky Saints, and you just go off to the run, like start feuding with those two guys and have some good promo battles and have a pretty good match on like a B-level pay-per-view and go from there. Like I think Punk has kind of achieved everything now. Like he wanted one thing that he wanted was that main event at WrestleMania, and now he's got it. So what else do you do?
Does Punk have another championship run in him? Are you putting the strap on him again?
I don't know, man. I feel like he doesn't need it.
Is it necessary? Necessary?
He's bigger than the title now. Like
True.
He's one of the few people in wrestling. Like as much as we want to like talk shit about CM Punk, or he might not be everyone's cup of tea, but he is one of the few needle movers, quote unquote, that actually make a difference when they jump to a company. So like we saw the impact he had with AEW when he jumped over there. We saw the impact he had when he came back to WWE. So like, you don't need to put a title on him. I feel like it kind of dilutes the title because he's not going to be able to defend it every week. He's not going to be able to, he might have a shorter schedule. So why not just have him put over younger guys? He doesn't have to lose to younger guys, but if he puts these guys in positions where they're having good matches, having good feuds, and now all of a sudden they're at the same billing as a CM Punk, now you have a whole crop of new stars for the next generation. So that's what I would do with him.
That makes sense.
I don't see him doing another title run. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I agree, man. I don't know if Punk needs another title run, but here's the thing. I wouldn't hate it 100%, but I also would be like, like it would be one of those things where there's nothing that you could do with Punk that would really make me excited to see him hold that title, unless it's something like what you just said, Joel, which is putting over some younger talent, getting some fresh faces there. And like you said, he doesn't even have to lose, but he can shine them up a little bit. He can make them look good. He could be in long promo battles. Well, if you're going to be in promo battles with Punk, you got to come correct, because Punk, if he's great at anything in this sport, it's the promo, the art of the promo. And you don't want to go in a promo battle where Punk is destroying the guy that you want to get over. So you got to be careful who you're throwing in there with him, so they're a little more convincing that they can go toe to toe with Punk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
But I listen. He still gets butts in the seats. The merch still moves. The music still hits. The whole shtick of, it's clobbering time still is a thing. People still like him. People still want him. And I know Lewis is not a big fan of Punk. He's a Punk hater, actually. Similar to your hate for Cody. But I know Punk, for me, doesn't do it for me as an in-ring performer.
The last time we saw him was the last time we saw him in ring was that WrestleMania match, and that was a 5-star match. So he could definitely whenever he needs to, he could get to the plate and hit it out the park. But I think it's true. I think those are going to be a lot more far and few between. So you could use him almost like Brock Lesnar, where he's like an attraction, right? Like, just have him. Since he's done it all already. He's main event to WrestleMania. He had his title run. He doesn't have much left to do in this new run that he's in with WWE. He's been there since 2023 now, I think.
23, I want to say.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, late 2023, right after All In. Like, you could use him like a Brock Lesnar. Have him come just for the big shows, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and he could literally just do simple feuds that get him to the next pay-per-view. He doesn't have to be there week to week. And maybe that's the strategy with him going forward, like, because he is like we mentioned, he's older. Yeah. So he doesn't have much space in his bump card left, So
that's true. That bump card is getting full.
Yeah, it's already full. And it's surprisingly, like, it seems like he's the type to take pride in making the shows like week to week. So. Yeah. It must be a reason why he hasn't been there this long. He must be really like recovering, resting up, getting his body back in shape. I know I've seen some videos of him in the gym. He's looking pretty swole. So I think he's trying to, come back as be as big of a star as he's ever been, but at the same time realize, like, I can't do this week to week anymore. So exactly. I gotta slow it down, have like very specific feuds that help elevate the next generation. So hopefully that's what we see from him, man. I think we will, because he's a student of the game, man. Much as Punk has caused problems everywhere he goes, as much as he doesn't have to be your cup of tea, but he has studied this game. He is a very smart wrestler. He's studied the greats. Smart. He's a Bret Hart mark. He's a Terry Funk mark. Like, these are guys that well into their old age, they were still contributing to the business. So I think he wants to be one of those guys. And he doesn't really have a choice, man. He's burned every bridge. I know. He's burned every bridge. So, like, it's either, if he wants a consistent check, this is his last stop. You never say never, because I could see Tony Khan's a huge CM Punk mark. So I could see him being like, "Hey, we'll take you back."
Man, he wouldn't do that now, man. That would be so down the line. Like,
the only reason I would say they wouldn't do it is because of like Omega and the Bucks might not be okay with it or whatever. Yeah. But if, like you said, if it's down the line and it's like, "Hey, we want to induct you into the AEW Hall of Fame," when that becomes a thing or something, I could see him. In wrestling, man, never say never. That's true. There's always something that we never expect, and it happens. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Unless he wants to go to TNA. Because he's burned every other bridge.
Listen, at that point, you're definitely not getting the same pay in TNA. That's for sure.
Sell the whole company to pay.
Might as well. But we'll see what happens with Punk, man. Who he ends up with in his next program coming back. He's been gone since WrestleMania, so we'll see what happens with Punk. But Joel, you kind of touched upon AEW. AEW Dynamite. I didn't get to really watch all of it. I was kind of in and out of it because I was preoccupied with the little game going on.
Yes, sir.
But you did. You got to watch it. You watched it. The Owen Hart tournament is going on.
Yes.
I heard Swerve and Brody put on a great match. What's some highlights? So what would you say was something big that, we should have paid attention to in AEW's Dynamite? But I will say, before you say that, Joel, interesting venue. That place looked like the Westchester County Center, my brother. It was it was tiny. It didn't seem super filled, or there was a lot of areas to fill. It just looked really small, and I'm reading reports that some people said that the crowd was even just not responsive to a lot of stuff going on. But yeah,
the crowd was okay. They did their part, but the venue definitely was a smaller venue, so maybe the crowd didn't come out as loud on the show, on the TV broadcast. But they definitely had their AEW chants throughout the night, and this is awesome and all that stuff. So they were doing their part, but I think it's almost like to a detriment at this point that AEW is just putting on consistent banger episodes of TV. That they almost are getting lost in the shuffle in a weird way, because it's we know it's gonna be a good show. And it sucks to say, because obviously I'm enjoying it. I enjoy every single week of Dynamite. I even watch Collision. Collision has been really good the past couple of weeks as well. But it's almost like in this business, Eric Bischoff famously said, controversy creates clicks, right? Or controversy creates cash. So
controversy creates cash. Yep.
I feel like they're missing controversy a little bit, which is weird, because AEW has been ingrained in controversy for so long. But it's almost everything's going so smooth that they're not making headlines, because they are just being a smooth show. But from what we could tell, the pay-per-view buys are up every month. The pay-per-view buys are going up and up, so they're doing good business. It's just they're not making headlines. So I guess it's a good place to be. But that episode of Dynamite was another great episode of Dynamite, man. I feel like every week we come in here and say, yo, Dynamite was amazing, because it really is. They had Pac versus Mark Briscoe, banger match to start off the show.
Nice.
Orange Cassidy and Andrade had a great match. Sky Blue and Maya World, incredible women's match that I was not expecting at all. Maya World had to step in because of Siri had an injury, so she stepped into the Owen Hart tournament. Shout out to Maya World, by the way. On the broadcast, they announced that she had lost her brother earlier this week in a car crash. Wow. And she apparently Tony Khan, from the reports I read, Tony Khan told her she could have all the time she wants, but she was like, no, I want to go out there and wrestle. So she got the opportunity to step into the Owen Hart tournament. She actually got the surprise win over Sky Blue. So that was a really cool touch. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Really cool, touching story. My condolences to Maya World. I hope everything, as much as you can. I hope things get better as soon as they can. But yeah, man. And then the main event, Swerve versus Brody, man. This is the second time that they faced off recently, and it was another great match, man. Swerve got the win with some help from Prince Nana. So Swerve is still leaning heelish. He's pretty much a heel at this point. And it's interesting to see that the finals now have been set for the men's side. It's going to be Swerve versus Ospreay at Forbidden Door. I think that's going to be a hell of a match. It's actually a rematch of 2 Forbidden Doors ago, I believe. They faced off when Swerve was the world champion and Ospreay was the international champion at that time. So it's a rematch of that. And there's a lot of implications here, because also, if we remember, at All In last year, Swerve and Ospreay were teamed up to face the Young Bucks in that incredible tag team match.
Incredible match.
So the last time we saw them on screen together, they were buddies, and now since then, Ospreay is a face, but he joined the Death Riders, who Swerve and Ospreay originally had beef with. So it's like this weird, complicated storytelling I love. I can't stand the people that keep saying AEW doesn't tell stories, because these are some intricate stories that go years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They don't beat you over the head with the stories, but if you're paying attention, these are some really cool stories that are happening.
Oh yeah, they're great. Yeah.
Very intricate, like I said, and I think we're in for a really banger main event at Forbidden Door between Swerve and Ospreay. And then they also announced another lights out steel cage match for Forbidden Door, which will be the other main event. So it'll be Team MJF versus Team Mark Briscoe. And if Mark Briscoe's team wins, MJF has to give him a world title shot. So
that's cool.
That should be interesting.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And we'll see. So far, we saw MJF go up to the Don Callis family with a bunch of money and say, "Yo, I need your 5 best guys." So we'll see what comes out of that. And then obviously Mark Briscoe has this whole conglomeration, so we'll see who gets chosen from that side. But it should be good.
So apparently MJF just carries a briefcase of money.
It was a lot. It was a lot of money. Don Callis looked at it and said, "That's a lot of money."
That's a lot of money.
He said, "Whoa, that's a lot of money."
I love the Don Callis effect.
Man.
Stuff,
honestly,
man.
Don Callis, he plays carny wrestler so well that he must be just a carny, because the way that he plays this character is so good. He was born to play this character. It's so good, man. The different implications he's having with Andrade wants a world title shot. He's like, don't worry, tranquilo, you'll get your world title shot. And then he got Kevin Knight now. Kevin Knight's like, I want my world title shot. He's like, yeah, don't worry, in time. Like, he's just playing everybody, but for some reason they don't realize it. It's just great TV, man.
Now, Joel, let me ask you something. Is Andrade's, what is it? Or don't you know? Oh, how you know? is that over, or is it struggling? Is it struggling to get over? Like, what's your take on it? I'm trying to figure out if I like it or not. I'm trying to figure it out.
Over. I think it depends on the crowd. Yesterday's crowd was into it, so they were chanting it with him. But I think it depends on the crowd. But so far, it seems like it's getting over. Also, I want to give a shout out to Lio Rush, man.
Oh,
I
man,
think we shouted him out a couple times, but every week is just getting better. This guy is so into his character that it is crazy. Bro. So he also had a little surprise moment during the Andrade Orange Cassidy match where you know how Andrade does the pictures with the ladies. So Lio Rush happened to be at ringside, and he was asking Orange Cassidy for a picture. And then Andrade comes up to him and he's just like, "How you know?" and Lio Rush is like, "It's fine." So it's just like all the gimmicks are just all intertwined now. Man. Hilarious stuff.
I saw that part. Yeah.
Another funny thing that came out of that match as well. Andrade does the whole taking off his pants gimmick. And then Orange Cassidy is like, "I got one for you too." He takes off his jeans just to reveal another pair of jeans under the jeans. And I'm like, yo, that's good. Why we watch wrestling, man. Yeah. Like, yes, 5-star banger matches are great. Storylines are great. But sometimes I just want some stupid comedy. It's going to make me laugh out loud at home and be like, yo, look at this hilarious clip. A clip that I could share with my friends and they find it funny even if they have no context. Like, you just need that sometimes. Some fun. I mean, that's what wrestling should be at the end of the day. Yeah, you could have your bloody, hardcore death matches. You could have your banger matches. At the end of the day, we all just want to have fun when we're watching this show. So shout out to everybody in AEW. I really think AEW has hit a really good stride lately.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think AEW is doing great stuff. I think the stories are there. Of course, the wrestling is there. And the characters you got your gimmicky stuff, like you said. You got your serious characters. You got your main eventers who are starting to feel flushed out and starting to feel like you know who the main eventers are. You got the people chasing the world title, which I love. I love just a random bunch of guys just going after.
Everybody should want it.
Everybody should want it. That's how it should feel, right? So I love that part. And yeah, man, I gotta get Lio Rush, man, is everywhere. Every time I go to our social media, Leo's popping up doing something. It's so good. He's dedicated to it, and it's probably not for everybody, but he's executing it really well.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you should feel when you see him. Is it,
Exactly.
are you supposed to be afraid? Are you supposed to, is he menacing, or is he supposed to be funny and then he gets menacing? Is he, you don't know. I don't even know. So that's really good. And I really enjoyed what Leo's been doing because he's super talented inside and outside the ring. So
I do want to give another quick shout out I want to give to is Alex Windsor, because they had a backstage segment, and this is something that I feel like wrestling needs more. We don't ever get to see this side of wrestlers, and I think this is something very smart booking by AEW. So we had a backstage segment from last week that they played where Ospreay had just beat Mark Davis, and he's backstage and he's talking to the camera and he's like, "Yes, I'm one win away from main eventing, All In, winning the title, all that stuff." Like, he's giving his whole spiel, and then in the middle of his spiel, Alex Windsor just runs up to him, doesn't look at the camera, nothing. She's crying, and she just gives him a hug.
Yeah, that's great.
It's because she had just lost her match to Mercedes Moné, which would have been the same. She would have then been going on in the tournament to perhaps maybe main eventing for the women's side and winning that world title in her hometown as well. So it's like, it's a really good, like, we don't ever get to see in wrestling, when they show losers, most of the time it's usually a sore loser. Like someone who's just like pissed off. They punch the wrestler that they just lost to after the match, or they beat them up. But we never get to see like the pure emotion of like a competitive person that wants to win. Yeah. And like anyone who's ever played sports, ever in any stage in their life, you lose a tough match to you lose a tough basketball. Kayode,
yeah.
You know.
Listen, I know. I know
more than anybody right now as a Spurs fan. You lose a tough fight that you expected to win, or you maybe thought I had a chance, and you lose. You are going to burst out crying. Yeah. Emotions are going to be high because of the love of the game. And I want to see that more in wrestling, because like, at the end of the day, all these people grew up wanting to be wrestlers. Usually most wrestlers grow up wanting to be wrestlers. And if this was her chance to maybe main event at her hometown to win the world title, and she lost, meanwhile her husband just won and he's going to be able to do it. Like, that's so many emotions that you could tie into there. You got the whole Ospreay being part of the Death Riders, leaning more heelish. And then you have like his love of his life coming and being like, "Hey, I'm still here. This is still happening. Like, you still got to be grounded at the same time. You can't be celebrating because this just happened to me." Like, this is what, like, these are the stories that I feel like wrestling has lacked in a long time. Like, we haven't had like a evolutionary story in wrestling where like we are now peeking into like a new form of storytelling or a new form of art where you could have these type of stories where they're very complicated and like complex, and like now you have this story of like, how does Ospreay feel if he continues and if he does get to main event All In, meanwhile his wife is on the back burner? Like, what happens there? Does she join the Death Riders? Maybe she's like, "Hey, I need some edge." Like, there's so many you could twist and turn in this story now, and it was such a simple little moment that took maybe 2 minutes out of the show. So more of that, AEW, and I feel like you keep building on those type of things and like showing new things that we don't see in wrestling, because like for so long in wrestling it's like macho. You can't shed a tear, you can't do it. Nope. But like, at the end of the day, you guys are athletes. You're supposed to be athletes, so pretend like it's a real sport. It's a real competition. You should be upset when you lose, like, especially in a tournament where the implications are so high, where you can main event in your home country. Yeah, you should be upset. I would hate if she was just like next week came out like, okay, nothing happened. No, she lost, and it was a surprise returning Mercedes Moné. Like, she could say like, "That's unfair. I didn't know I was going to be facing the CEO, like the belt collector." Like, she could have all these implications of like, now they could tell many different paths to this story. Maybe she starts leaning a little more heel. Maybe she's tagging with Jamie Hayter. Maybe she doesn't want to tag with Jamie Hayter anymore. Maybe she has like single implications. She wants to be a world champion. Like, you could tell a million stories now just off of that one little clip. So shout out to Alex Windsor. That was great.
Yeah, that was great, man. Good point, Joel, because that was a nice real moment. Like you did, like you said, it felt like a sports moment. It felt real. She runs up to her man in disappointment. She gets the embrace. like you said, Mercedes shows up out of nowhere. Was it unfair? What's her mental going to be like? Do she do what her man is doing and go on to be with the Death Riders? And she's grappling with my girl Marina. Now she's a machine. Like, who knows?
You could do so much now.
You could do a lot, man. AEW's on fire, man. I don't know what anybody's talking about, but we're showing love to AEW and and all the stuff they're doing. And really looking forward to this Forbidden Door. I don't know what this card's gonna look like, but it's shaping up to sound like it's gonna be pretty solid. I
forgot they announced another match for Forbidden Door, a dream match: Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay,
that was announced as well.
Yeah, I mean, Zack Sabre.
That was announced.
You got to be a wrestling head to watch a Zack Sabre match because you might not understand what he's doing, but that is just pure art at its finest.
You know what's funny too? It's great. You say that about having to be a wrestling fan, but when I went to Forbidden Door last year in London, I took a buddy of mine that has never seen wrestling, never watched wrestling, wasn't into it as a kid, nothing. Mm-hmm. And his favorite match was actually Nigel McGuinness versus Zack Sabre Jr. And he was like, he understood the technicality of it. He was like, I really liked how they were reversing each other's moves and everything seemed like it flowed, and the grappling and the submissions and all that stuff. He was like, he felt like it felt more real than any other matches. So like, even if you're not a wrestling fan, like I feel like those type of wrestlers kind of give you appreciation of the art of like, there's a lot more to this than just like fake punches and chops. Like you could actually like make this into a story just by doing grappling and submission and reversals. So hell yeah, I can't wait for Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kenny Omega. And they didn't even have to sell it. It was just like Sabre Jr. He just did like a quick like promo package where he was just like, hey, you never faced me in the US. I want to face you in the US. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm in.
That's gonna be dope.
That's all I need.
Yeah, that's all I need to hear. Zack Sabre Jr. and Kenny Omega. Deal. I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man, AEW, y'all, doing big things, man. Forbidden Door coming up next. Joel, we got to talk about this Bleacher Report top 10 most valuable stars in WWE and AEW. Now, man, I don't know if you saw the list. Interesting list. And a lot of them, I'm looking at them now. A lot of them I do agree with. Now, there were two honorable mentions. You had Bayley and Kyle Fletcher. To be honest, I'm putting Kyle Fletcher in the top 10 most valuable. And I'll tell you why. He is the future. He is a star. He wrestles well. He fits the part. He's everything that you would need or want in someone you can push in a world title picture. He's dope, and I think that was the one glaring omission. Lewis, Lewis, the administrator, who's our other co-host on this show, he mentioned that he was shocked that Swerve wasn't on the list.
Yeah,
but to be honest and to be fair, Swerve before he came back officially wasn't really doing much that was it almost seemed like he took some time off to kind of reimagine the character or to figure out what would be next. Yes, he's valuable. I don't know if I would put him within the top 10 overall, but he's definitely in the picture. He's definitely looking outside the window while everybody's inside. He's looking through the window. He's like right there. I just don't know if I would put him into this. But Joel, any glaring omissions? Anything that stands out?
Actually,
I mean, it's only 10. It's 10, right? So
yeah.
The one thing I'll tell you what. Can you tell who on this top 10 list I'm going to say has no business being on this top 10 list?
Yeah, your boy Danhausen, man.
Danhausen, who lifted the curse off the Knicks, and this is why they're doing so damn well. But Danhausen, just because your boy moves merch, and you know the promo, the backstage skits and stuff that he is in is entertaining. would you put him as top 10 most valuable?
Nah, there's no way.
There's no way. I'm sorry.
Also, man, now that I'm looking at this list, so like, let me just run through the list. So you said, Bayley and Kyle Fletcher were the honorable mentions. Then at number 10, we had Darby Allin, 9, Becky Lynch, 8, Mercedes Moné, 7, Danhausen, 6, Will Ospreay, 5, Rhea Ripley, 4, MJF, 3, CM Punk, 2, Cody Rhodes, and 1, Roman Reigns. I think that top 3, I would say, yeah, those are probably the top 3 biggest stars in wrestling right now. Roman, Cody, Punk. That makes sense. But where the hell is Jon Moxley? Where the hell is Kenny Omega? Are they crazy? Wait, where's Toni Storm?
Toni Storm's not even on here.
Yeah, I get it that she's out right now, but come on, you can't deny that Toni Storm is not one of the most valuable people on all of wrestling, man. She had like one of the best years ever last year.
1000%. Yeah.
Storyline, the Hollywood ending with Mariah May, like the whole timeless Toni Storm, like complete reinvention of what she was in WWE to become timeless Toni Storm in AEW, and absolutely kill it and believe her character so much that we all started believing her character. Like she's incredible. I think Toni Storm, if Toni Storm's not in your top 10 most valuable list, then you got to redo your whole list. And Jon Moxley obviously has been the ace of AEW for 5 years now, so like he needs to be on there. And like Lewis said, I'm very surprised from the WWE side, Seth Rollins not being anywhere on this list. I think this list is definitely suffering from like in the moment, because like to have like, as much as I love Darby Allin's world title run, I don't think Darby Allin is in the top 10 most valuable stars in wrestling right now. Like,
not most valuable, definitely.
No,
man, he's definitely to me, he's along the lines of a Seth Rollins, where you could plot Darby in anywhere and he could just do it. Like, he could do whatever you need him to do. He could be in there with the technician, he could be in there with a high flyer, he could be in there with a hard hitter. Darby could do it all, and he gains so much momentum from his passion, like his passionate promos and all this stuff. So same thing with Seth, though. Seth is the guy that they know they can lean on. He'll always deliver. He always looks good. You never have to worry about Seth, and they take advantage of him. I don't think Darby is to that level where it's like, all right, well, we know you're good, but this is what we need you for, and we know you're good at it, and that's it. Or, I don't know if Darby's there yet with AEW, but Seth is definitely that guy where, WWE definitely feels like if they need something, they got Seth. So, he may be taken advantage of in some aspects of that. But
I think this,
I don't know, is I would say Darby that you mentioned, and Danhausen for sure.
Yeah, those two gotta go.
Go.
I think you take those two out and you put in Seth Rollins and Jon Moxley, and I think the list is a little more better. But I still would like to see Toni Storm somewhere on this list.
Yeah. Well, if you had to take a woman out,
Io Sky. Where's Io Sky? I feel like Io Sky is
Io Sky.
She's literally the best wrestler in WWE, male or female.
Yes.
So and then another Gunther, I think, is pretty up there too. So he's not on this list either. I mean, like you said, there's only 10 spots, so it is hard. Yeah. It is hard to boil it down to just 10 across both companies.
Are you replacing Io Sky with Becky Lynch, or Becky Lynch with Io Sky?
See, it depends on what we consider valuable, right? Like, are we talking about like merch sellers, or are we talking about like valuable to the show?
I don't know. What was the criteria?
If it's merch sellers and I guess popularity, then Becky Lynch is a bigger star than Io Sky. But
so here it is. Okay, so what makes a star valuable in pro wrestling is the question. It is their ability in the ring. Perhaps it lies in their mainstream access and how visible they are outside of it. For others, it would be their willingness to play a role that once felt like a relic or a bygone era. All of these things matter, as do merch sales, long-term impact on the company, all important connections with the audience. So I think
the criteria is everything.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, everything.
So they didn't even have a real criteria. They just threw everything in there.
They just threw everything in there. Yeah. So if you're saying everything, then
that's pretty funny that they mention it could be their willingness to play a role that once felt like a relic of a bygone era. That sounds like Toni Storm to me.
That sounds like.
How do you not have Toni Storm on this list after saying that?
Yes.
Or Gunther as well. He's an old school heel wrestler that just is a mat-based wrestler. Like he should be on this list too. I guess.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. I feel like we need to table this discussion when Lewis is back on, and maybe we do our own list of top 10 between each company. Because I think it's, now that I'm thinking about it, it is pretty hard to boil it down to just 10. From if you're doing both AEW and WWE combined, that's very hard. Because I feel like I could do a top 10 most valuable from both companies. You know, I have 20 overall, but if we're trying to boil it down to just 10 between both. Obviously, I think it's going to be more WWE heavy just because they are the bigger show, you know, like they are going to move the most merch. So like it makes sense to have WWE wrestlers be in the top 3, right? Like Roman, Cody, Punk. But I do agree with number 4 right after that, MJF. I think MJF is there. Yeah. He's gotten to the point where he's pretty much number 4. When you think of wrestlers right now, current active wrestlers, he's right behind Punk, Cody, and Roman.
100%.
And with with Punk not being around, maybe MJF has even surpassed Punk at this moment. He's the world champion in AEW. He's obviously their biggest star. He's in movies. He's in way bigger movies than CM Punk is in. I don't know if we want to start measuring that, but like MJF is in Adam Sandler movies and on Netflix, and CM Punk's doing like straight to DVD. I don't even know what he's doing, but he's doing,
what he's doing. The Marine 9. I don't know. What's Punk doing? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Straight to streaming.
This is a great conversation. I think we got to table this. I want to hear Lewis' thoughts on this.
Yeah,
because he brought up some good points. Seth Rollins and Swerve Strickland. Yeah,
I will say to you though, Moxley's my ace, man. Moxley's probably. He needs to be on this. I love Mox.
Another glaring omission, but maybe not so much because he hasn't been as big of a star in AEW. But Okada he could still you could heat him up whenever you want. I don't think Tony Khan and AEW have done as much right by him as they could. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're waiting for.
I think Okada kind of just wants to chill. I get the feeling I don't know.
If you get Okada in the world title picture, we're all gonna be eating our words. We're gonna be like, oh shit, this is what we were waiting for. This is the Okada we were waiting for. So I know Tony Khan has that in his back pocket, and he's just waiting for it. Because like Okada needs to hold that belt one time before he's done with AEW. He needs to, like, just to have it in the record books. So I could see, and we know Okada, when he was a free agent, was a bidding war between WWE and AEW. So he obviously has value. They both see it. So
I agree. Okada definitely valuable. Definitely will hold that title before he leaves AEW or whatever. I think most valuable because if it's overall, I don't know if he would be as valuable or necessary as a Moxley or as a Swerve or even definitely as an MJF. I think it's those guys who move audiences, not with just their character work, but also with promos and just delivery and stuff like that. And I don't know if Okada, like you said, Tony hasn't really shown that hand fully. I think when we get Okada in the world title picture, we probably will be eating our words, or maybe not. I know, but maybe so. I'm gonna say closer to maybe so. We might be. So we maybe just haven't seen that yet. So I wouldn't necessarily put him in that category or that top 10 just yet. That's going to be a hard list to make, bro. I'm not gonna like
someone. I just thought of someone from the WWE side. Where's Charlotte Flair? Does she belong on this list?
Charlotte Flair.
We got 2/3 of the 4 horsewomen on the list with Becky and Mercedes, and then Bayley in the honorable mentions. But Charlotte nowhere near the list. So that's another interesting one.
I don't know if I would put Charlotte in that, bro.
Isn't she like a 15-time world champion or something?
She's like a 15-time world champ, but she's not really.
I mean, she's been in a tag team. She's been in a tag team for a long time now.
And plus, Charlotte's got this like weird personality of like there's times where the fans want her, and then there's times where they're tired of her, and there's moments where she just doesn't feel like there's anything new about her. There's no reinvention. There's nothing that reaches beyond the guardrails, right, with fans. Like sometimes there's no personality. There is more personality now in this tag team there has been in her singles run. I just don't think she's that. I don't think she's it anymore.
Yeah.
I think that time has been past. She's still cool to watch, and she's semi-relevant because of the tag team, but I don't know if people care about her as much now as they used to. And I love the WWE, I love the women on this list from WWE, Becky, Rhea, though Rhea, absolutely, she's untouchable. And I still feel like they have untapped something there. Like there's still a ton with her.
Yeah.
And Becky, what Becky's doing now is just unbelievable. It's the best stuff she's ever done.
Someone else who just came to mind. Does Oba Femi belong on this list?
Not yet. Not yet.
I would say he belongs on it over Danhausen.
Yes. But I put him over Danhausen.
But
yeah.
I don't know, man. You know what this should turn into? And this is going to be like a special episode one day. We got to do like a draft between the three of us, where we get to pick like one wrestler, no matter what company, and maybe we get like 10 slots, and at the end of the day we could have the fans vote on who has the better roster or something, because I could already see this being very difficult to boil it down. But if we have to do it like in a draft way, we're like, damn, Kayode, you took Toni Storm. I was going to take Toni Storm. Now I got to think about who's next. I think that might make it a little easier and a little more fun. So maybe we'll do that. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that when we get the three of us on here.
I like that. We'll do our on-the-mark draft.
Yeah, the three of us have to each build our own dream promotion. Who do we with 10 picks?
10 picks, dream
out
promotion.
Of all the wrestlers out there in the world. You could even pick some indie wrestler I never heard of.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that one day. That sounds fun.
I love that. That might be the next episode. That's a good idea. But yeah, man. Listen, when Lewis gets back on with us, we'll talk more about the list that we just talked about, that Bleacher Report list. It's a tough list. I mean, 10 people from two promotions. It's very tough. I think my list definitely would look a little different, like yours would too, Joel. Yeah, we'll get back to that. That's a good topic to get into. Joel, man, anything else, man, that you wanted to close with before we go on episode 136 of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast?
Nah, man, that's pretty much it. Let's go Knicks in 5.
Man, Knicks in 5. Man.
We'll see what happens on Saturday, Game 5 in San Antonio. Let's see what happens. And yeah, man, thanks to all the fans to continue watching, commenting on YouTube, hitting us up on Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. We appreciate ya.
Yeah, man, we appreciate y'all, man. Until next time, y'all, episode 136 coming at y'all. I'm Kayode, the producer, joined by none other than Joel, the Joe Stradamus. Peace.
You have just listened to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, a Scriptly adapted production. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at On the Mark Wrestling. And email us on onthemarkpodcast@gmail.com.